thanks for watching that Married Guy. Today we're going to plant those Cucamelon seeds that we looked at in one of the earlier videos that we got in the mail. So I figured it was time to do a seed starter and get those going. Today we're going to use a 72 cell seed starting system. This is the self-watering one that will water your seeds for you. And we're going to plant a bunch of seeds in here and put them inside under some grow lights for a while. We're going to use some seed mix to use. I know they come with these little pellets that are in there, but honestly every time I've ever used the little pellets in any of the flats, I get 3 or 4 sprouts that come out and the rest of them just stay dormant. So I started filling them up with the seed starter instead, and I get almost 100% germination rate out of them. So instead of using the pellets, we're going to throw those away. We're just going to fill it with seed starter and put in a bunch of different seeds and go from there. Today we're going to plant 2 special things and 3 things that I've been waiting to do. The first one are some heirloom seeds, and they are Swiss chard. So we're going to put a couple rows into the seed starter there. We're going to also put in some satin spinach, a small leaf spinach with a 42-day maturity rate. We're going to put some of those in. And we're going to try some green beans again. I tried these earlier. I didn't do too many and they all kind of died, but honestly I think it was my own fault. I put them in some peat pots and they were outside, and it was just a battle trying to keep them moist. They just seemed to dry out every other day no matter how many times I watered them. Here in Florida it just gets so hot it couldn't keep up. So we're going to try these again. And then the star of the show are the Cucamelon seeds that we got in. Now if you remember from the other video, we got 2 packages of Cucamelon seeds. We have 1 pack of patio red peppers, and they sent us the free gift of some red romaine lettuce. So we're going to plant some of those as well and get those started. The other big surprise that I have after watching the Praxis video is we have cocoa seeds to plant our own cocoa tree. I got a hold of the one place in Puerto Rico that sells them. Now I didn't buy the whole pod this time, I just bought the seeds. And I know that there's a big cravat, so to speak, about buying seeds, because usually they come and they show up dry. And as soon as these seeds dry out, they're not any good. They have to be moist. So usually you buy the whole pod, you strip that down itself and plant those seeds in there. But for the first attempt I thought I'd try just getting some seeds from them. And they came in and they look fantastic. I got 10 of them right here that you can see, and they're moist. I could see a lot of humidity inside there. They feel soft and pliable. There's some little tiny shoots that are popping out. I don't know if you could see that, but I think these are going to be good. And I've already contacted them, and I have the link to buy the entire pod, and I'm going to try that next. So let's set this stuff aside. And for the cocoa seeds, we're just going to put those in some of these solo cups. There's 10 of them, so I figured we'd put them in here, and then I could transplant them if I can get a couple of them going. So let's get started. Alright, let's open this up. We're doing this today on the island counter in the kitchen. I do this outside, but it's about 95 degrees and almost 100% humidity. It's very hot here in Orlando today, so the wife went to the grocery store and we're going to try to knock this out before she gets back and sees the mess that we're about to create. So let's get our seed starter open. I've bought one of these before, but it was just the single flat. I've never bought the double before, so it'll be interesting to see how this works. In there you can see all those pellets. We're going to get rid of all that stuff. I'm just not convinced that they work. Half of them won't even expand, so I don't see much point of that. So let's get one of our cups here. Let's see if we can get these together. If anybody wants all these, send me an email or get in touch with me, and I will mail you all of these plugs if you're somebody that's a big fan of them. Get rid of these guys here. Looks like this might be a 2-cup job. Comes with a couple papers here that we can mark what seeds are in there, but we're just going to put some of our little plastic labels on there instead. Here's the mat. This is what keeps it moist. We're going to get rid of the little sawdust in there. Now, if I remember correctly, we put the seed trays that sits on here. We take our cloth and you fold in the ends, and that kind of wicks up the water for the mat, and then the seeds are fed from the bottom as they sit on the wet mat, just like that. So I think that'll work just fine. But before we get too far, we need to fill these with some dirt. Had a lot of good success with this seed starter mix. I know every time I post something with some Miracle-Gro on it, everybody throws a fit, but it works for me, and right now I'm not making my own. This is the part we don't want the wife to see. One more of those pellets snuck in there. Just break up the clumps a little bit. Doesn't seem to be too clumpy today. And we'll push these around to fill up the cells. I'll just spread this over here so we can get them right around. Now this seed starter soil is really loose and it's real airy and light and stuff. So as soon as we get these cells filled up, we're going to want to push down on each of the cells just so the soil makes good contact with the bottom so it can get itself some water. Pretty much got dirt in all the cells, so what we're going to do is just take 2 fingers. We're going to press down just to make sure that they get nice and compact. You don't want to push too hard and make the soil super tight, and then the seeds have no room to grow. Seeds like a nice loose moist soil to get started. Now, one of the troubles that I had when I was going to plant these Cucamelon seeds is looking around. I couldn't find any real instructions other than on the back here, and it says nothing. It doesn't really say too much about how deep to plant them, if you should direct sow, if you should use a seed starter. It doesn't really give too much information. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 1 seed per cell in here, and then I'm just going to cover it so it's about 1/4 inch under the water line, and we're just going to go from there. All right, we have our media in there. I'm just going to drop some seeds, and then I'm going to lightly cover this up with some more material. You'll see here. Put a couple little indentions in so the seeds can sit. All right, let's plant some seeds. All right, so now we're going to start with the Cucamelon seeds that I bought. I got these from rareseeds.com. And I have no idea what these look like. I've never seen a Cucamelon seed before. We're going to look for the first time. Oh, they're white. You can see right there. And again, these create these little, they look like little miniature watermelons, full grown. They're about that big in size. And it's really a cucumber. And it tastes like a cucumber with a hint of lime. So we're going to plant these and see if we can make some. They don't require pruning or intensive care like regular cucumbers do. They're pretty self-sufficient. They don't grow as high. You don't have to trim them as much as you do a regular cucumber, and you don't really have to trellis them the same way either. You could put a stake in the ground and let them grow on that, but you don't have to set up any sort of elaborate teepee system or anything like that, and they're not going to grow crazy and get all over the place either. So have 2 packages of these seeds, so I have a whole bunch of them. I'm just going to plant a couple rows for now just to see what happens, enough to have a couple plants around the house, maybe a couple I can give away to friends, or if you're a subscriber I might send you a plant, or if you need a couple seeds. As soon as I get these going I should have a whole bunch and able to share these. So I'm actually we're gonna take that one out right there because I don't want to plant that one there. Alright, so now let's get ourselves a little tag. You see right there I just put a little arrow so I know all that stuff's going to be cucamelon seeds, and they're just sitting on top here. I'll show you why here in a second. That'll be good. For the next one, we're going to plant these red peppers, and I'm just going to do 2 cells here. Yep, just normal pepper seeds right there. So we're going to put one in here. I know a lot of people put 2 or 3 per cell, and sometimes I do too, but I'm doing so many here that if I get a couple that don't grow, I'll be alright with that. That'll be okay. I'm going to do the Swiss chard next. These are funky looking seeds right here. That's alright though. We're going to plant these over here all the way out at the end. Alright, 2 rows of Swiss chard. That's done. Now we're going to put in the free romaine lettuce that we got. These are really tiny slivered seeds. You can see right there. Those are real small. So obviously there's going to be a couple of them that fall into each one, and I'll just thin them out. That's okay. And now some spinach. And it looks like this is a plasticized container. There's obviously humidity in here to keep the seeds fresh, so we're just going to rip that open. And I'm actually, the garden bean that I was going to plant, I'm going to put that in a different container because I want to use a bunch of these seeds and really have a bunch of spinach around, so we're going to do that. Let's see here. 1, 2. And now we're all set, it looks like. We have everything in place. Now what we want to do is I'm just going to take a handful of soil here and just kind of spread that around, get that nice and even with everything. And I'm just going to put a loose layer on top of all those seeds that we just planted. Spread this around, get this nice and even. And then we're going to add some water, get this stuff nice and wet. And we're going to put it on top of the fridge and just let this go for a week. Alright, so we got everything on there. Break up the big crumbles if there's any. And now that we're done, I'm just going to go through, label everything one more time for the stuff that we added across here, and then we're going to put it up. Now in the past I've gone ahead and added water to the top here, and sometimes I just spray them down just so the soil hardens up a little bit, and it isn't all kind of just dusty and floating around. I might do that, but I typically just put water in the bottom, let it soak up and do its thing. It makes it much easier and it's less that I have to think about. So we're going to move these trays and we're going to put the watering system back in. Get those over here. Alright, that'll be good. Now we'll get our 2 trays. You can see here's the 2 trays it came with. That just sits in there to keep it propped up. So the cells can sit right on this pad. We'll put the black side up. And we'll just let the ends sit right in the water there. Nice and flat. We'll take our cells and sit them right on top. She's not home yet, right? Okay. I also don't like to water the top of it too heavy too, because it starts moving around the dirt if you splash it too hard, and the seeds go all over the place, and I'd rather just keep them right where I want them to give them a better chance at germinating. So we're all set there. That's all done. Now we're going to put the lid on. There we go. And this is finished. I'm going to set this on top of the refrigerator in a dark or dry place. I'm going to let it sit for probably 3 to 5 days, see how it's coming along, and in about a week, hopefully every single cell is sprouted up and we can get it under some lights growing real well before we move them to their own pots and hopefully eat all these buggers. So the next step is we're going to plant those cocoa seeds. I'm super excited about that. After seeing some people's plants and how big they were, I just had to grow them, and I immediately the same day ordered the seeds. So I can't wait to get those going. Let's put this away and move on. Okay, now we're going to plant the cocoa tree seeds, and we're just going to get some dirt in there. I plan on planting each one of these about 1 inch below the soil, so it may not be exact, but we'll get it somewhere here. And we're going to do 10 of these. Now once I have the seeds in there and I have them about 1 inch planted, I'm going to go ahead and keep the soil fairly moist until they sprout. And the key to getting these cocoa seeds to grow is heat. So I don't plan on putting them outside because it's getting to be really hot. It might keep the soil dried out. So I'm going to keep them kind of near a window, not where they get much light, but where it's definitely warm. So I should have them almost around 80 degrees, no problem. Let's see how many we got here. 9, 10, and we got 1 extra. So I don't know what we're going to do with that, but we'll do something with it. So now here we got our seeds. Come down here, and we got 10 of these. So we're going to open them up. I know when you take these out of a seed husk, there's a little kind of like sweet gelatin material that's around them you have to peel off, and then a really small shell, and you have to take that off too, then they're ready to go. But like I said before, these are definitely moist. They did a good job of shipping these, but I don't know whether or not they've been shelled. It looks like they may have been. Come down here nice and close. Let's see here. There's definitely some slime on them. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean these real quick. So let me just grab my other pan here, and we'll just put the husks in here. Get these all cleaned off. There's 1, 2, 3. All this peat moss that they have on there to keep it moist, I just want to get rid of real quick. I definitely didn't get some that were dried out, it doesn't look like. More peat moss there. Oh, 1 dropped in. This kind of sticky, gooey material right there has to come off. There we go. See it peeling right off there. That's what you want to get rid of. Get rid of that. I'm not going to wash these off any more than that, but there you go. That seed's ready to go. We're just going to lay that right on the soil there. And we're going to do that to all 10 of them, and then we're going to put 1 more inch of soil on top of that, soak them down, put some plastic wrap on them to kind of create that greenhouse effect with a rubber band. And we're going to take 10 of these and we're going to put them in a warm spot in the house and see if we can get some growth. Okay, we're all done. I got all the seeds stripped. Let me tell you what a chore that was. So I got them all cleaned off, and I ended up with 12 of them, and put about 1 inch of soil on top, and gave them a good little dose of water here. And now I'm going to wrap saran wrap on the tops with a rubber band, and we're going to put them up, see if we can get them to germinate. Alright, and there we go. 12 of them done. Now they're moist, we'll just get them some heat, make sure that they're warm. I'm sure we'll be able to get a few of these sprouting. So hopefully pretty soon I'll have an update with some good news and a couple things shooting out of the soil on this one.